Club Random Podcast. My goat Bill Maher is at it again from 2 days ago.
First time I ever went, I would not go to Israel. I was convinced if I stepped terra firma on Israel, I stepped off the plane onto the tarmac, a war would break out.
Why?
I don't know why. It's a tick.
That's more than a tick.
Yeah.
That's psychotic.
Yeah, well, thank you.
What? I mean, why you stepping off the plane?
No, not me.
Just bad timing?
Bad timing.
Well,
I wouldn't cause the war.
Oh, I see.
I would just be in the middle of
I thought they were like, the funds.
Hey,
it's on.
Henry's here.
Allahu Akbar, the funds.
Really?
This is the last straw.
Oh, my God.
The funds is in Israel. Now we have to get them into the sea.
Yeah.
Oh.
What about their prime minister? Are we allowed to talk about that?
Of course. You can talk about anything. That's what I love about this.
I really think that he knows if, God forbid, he steps down or the war is over, he's in jail.
I mean, that's possible, and we hear that a lot. I mean, it's
I
interesting.
believe it to my core.
Yeah, well, you don't know I mean, that could be the case. You don't know what's in a person's heart. Whether that's true or not, you can still be supportive of the decisions he's making, which I am.
Okay.
It's very naive, I think, that this could go any other way.
Right.
And any other country in the world would not be expected to act any differently. If you get attacked, you get to fight back. And the war doesn't end when you start fighting back, which they always want with Israel. You know,
Bill Maher presenting himself as a guy who's like anti-all religion only to actively commit himself to a fucking theocratic ethno-state is the funniest thing. Okay, this guy is supposed to be like, the atheist. I hate all religion. I hate all religion, okay? I'm Bill Maher. Religion is stupid, and if you believe it, you're stupid. Except I love the theocratic ethno-state that is an apartheid on a good day and doing genocide on a bad day because they're doing it to other religious people that I hate a lot more. I'm Bill Maher. It's so funny.
somebody...
You know what? A lot of what you're saying is true. However, I think that, there are parents, there are families that are hurting because the hostages are not.
Yes, and it's the job of a statesman and a leader and a prime minister to think long term and not just short term. Like, if they don't...
Yeah, that's what Benjamin Netanyahu's doing. He's thinking long-term final solution, not short-term final solution. Thanks, Bill Maher. His dick riding of Israel is crazy, okay? It is crazy.
Eliminate Hamas.
They're not going to eliminate Hamas. Hamas is an idea, not a group of people.
That's a bullshit thing.
It's not.
What do you mean? That's literally... He's right. Listen to the Fonz, dipshit.
Bullshit.
Well, let me tell you something. They've said that for years. I just read, I think, Sam Harris on this, and he said it right.
I know Sam.
Okay, great.
I like
love
Sam.
Great. I'm glad we both do.
Yeah.
And he said this thing we've heard a lot of times. You can't kill an idea. He said, well, we did after World War II.
Until now.
We did kill a lot of...
What's really funny about Bill Maher, as far as I understand, is that, like, and I didn't know this until later, okay? I never knew this about him, but I guess neither did he, ironically enough. Bill Maher's not Jewish. I never thought he was Jewish. I thought he was a Christian. I thought he was an Irish guy, okay? And then I found out that he was Jewish, but also that he didn't know he was Jewish either, for the record. He was raised Catholic until the age of 12 when he found out he was Jewish. He's raised Catholic. So, like, I always was like, this motherfucker, this was my proof. Like, fucking Christian Zionists are so goddamn annoying. They just, like, hype up Israel way more than, like, American Jews do. Like, they always fucking outflank. They always outflank American Jews on the issue. It's like a white guy telling a black person about fucking racism. You know what I mean? And yes, you can tell he was raised Catholic. Yes, he has a lot of like, I think, former Catholic attitudes, if that makes sense. Like he has, I don't know, well, alcoholism to be one. He is so, yes, he is so genteel. Like his vibes, his attitude, like it is so, like I was shocked when I found out. Okay? So he is a Zionist Christian, for the record, even though he's not a Christian.
Japanese, and that was unfortunate.
Right.
But I mean, if you do kill enough lunatics, and Japan was led by lunatics,
Right.
you know, died to the last person and a lot of.
First of all, before people go, I thought he was Jewish. That's disrespectful, okay, to the Jewish people, specifically American Jews. If he was Jewish, he'd be a little bit funnier, okay? There's no way. I mean, this is like marginally at the very least, okay? Like this man's level of humor, counterpoint Seinfeld, great example, okay? Jerry Seinfeld, very unfunny, except still like understands the capacity or the word structure of a joke, okay? While Seinfeld is a humorless hack for the most part, he still fundamentally understands what a joke is. Bill Maher has never understood that. His entire career revolves around being a condescending, smarmy, pervy, alcoholic, Catholic, former Catholic, atheist asshole.
Suicide bombing and all that. Very similar to what we see with radical Muslims.
Right.
Suicide bombing, cult of martyrdom.
Right.
Okay, so Japan became our good friend. So let's not pretend that you can't actually get to the root of this. It is difficult.
I'm not pretending.
No.
I truly believe
No,
that in
you will
this
not-
particular case,
you will not-
you don't think that all those people that are now homeless and their families are destroyed, you don't think that they are now
I think you have to make
Hamas
calculation.
again?
Of course, absolutely. That is going to
And we
happen.
got to kill him dead even harder. Thank you, Bill. Like Winkler's attitude here is just like not even born out of ideology and is just pure empathy. Okay. You don't have to be like a brilliant person. Not saying that Winkler isn't, right? But like you literally don't have to be the smartest, most well-read person to look at a situation like this and just be like, I think common sense in this circumstance implies that like if you fucking lock people into this area and bomb the fuck out of them, they're probably going to develop resentment towards you and want to fight their way out of that situation. Basic, super basic empathy. If anything, it's common sense, but if anything, it's actually ideology that oftentimes clouds that basic empathy. Ideology, on the other hand, is what is motivating Bill Maher in his refusal to acknowledge the humanity of Palestinians. Like, you don't have to be a scholar to look at a situation and be like, yeah, I feel like if you trap people into this situation, if you like back them into a corner and keep fucking killing them and humiliating them and destroying their lives, like, and you show them that there's no way out of it, right? Like, they're probably going to inevitably fight back like you can at the top of the hour because there's a 3-minute ad break. And the way that you can get out of that corner is by subscribing for $6 or for free with a Twitch Prime. Just common sense. He's an Islamophobic, racy, smarmy, disgusting POS. Yeah. He is also the quintessential, like, bi-coastal elitist, smarmy liberal. He is so fucking annoying. I just, Even CNN wrote a better article than the New York Times. No, New York Times is like, dude, I'm telling you right now, New York Times, on every other issue is like they have defensible positions, they have indefensible positions. On Gaza, it is the worst. They are worse than Fox News for one key reason. Everybody knows what Fox News is. Everybody expects Fox News to be unhinged. People do not expect the paper of record to utilize their objective air of credibility to do the bidding of the apartheid state to this degree. Okay? That's the fucking problem. You think it's on purpose? Yes, absolutely. This is actually a good comparison. Exactly. Just ask trans people. They're ragging on us is so much more painful than Fox News or New York Post. Exactly. Because the expectation from New York Post is that they're going to write articles about like a Haitian guy getting into a minor fucking traffic accident with no injuries. But when it's the New York Times writing about Haitian migrants with similar terminology, all of a sudden that has an air of seriousness to it. What do you think the New York Times angle is? Advertisers, Jewish employees, access to politicians. I'm willing to bet that the Jewish employees of the New York Times are significantly more anti-Zionist than whatever the fuck the editor-in-chief is going off on. Okay? I know a lot of New York Times journalists. There's fucking brilliant people there, okay? We met a New York Times journalist. He interviewed me. That interview never made it to print. But he interviewed me. Did he come across as like someone who is an ultra-Zionist to you? No, he didn't to me. Very smart guy. Sometimes you have to understand, especially when you're, yeah, no, he's great. He was dope. What you need to understand is sometimes the journalist is not the final, like in many instances, actually, in a paper like the New York Times, in most papers, in most teams, behind the scenes, the editorial board controls and has a lot more to do with the way that certain things are framed, certain issues are framed, certain angles are taken. If Palestinians were Jewish and the U.S. aligned settlers were Muslim, the U.S. and the New York Times would be backing the Muslims. It's about empire, not religion. Yes. But I think even a better argument there, because that seems so impossible because of the war on terror. People can't even people don't have the capacity to understand that. Yeah, the top of these news companies are run by people who have large goals of pushing American global hegemony. The people on the ground are normally in it for the love of journalism. Yeah. The thing is, the better argument that I make all the time is that if every single American Jew tomorrow turned around and fucking said, enough is enough, not in our name, we do not want you to do this shit, you're out of your fucking mind, we're all anti-Zionists. If every single American Jew, 6 million, 7 million American Jews living in the United States tomorrow were like, we're all anti-Zionists, we're done with this shit, nothing would change in terms of America's analysis of the situation. It has nothing to do with Judaism. They would be ignored just like the many Jews that are ignored or directly arrested at the fucking pro-Palestinian protest right now. They would still keep saying it's anti-Semitic to not be in support of Israel. They would, like, you would have Christian Zionist newspaper editors turn around and literally fucking write articles about how anti-Semitic American Jews are. Okay? That's it. They'd be like, these self-hating Jews, why do they not know? Why do they not know what the truth is? That, you know, you are not safe here if Israel didn't exist. Which is, at that point, more of a threat or maybe even a promise, you know? Yeah, the only Jewish member of parliament opposed the Balfour Declaration, written by an anti-Semitic guy, by the way. Let history demonstrate that no one gave a fuck. Nope. I mean, look at this conversation. You got a fucking dude who was raised Catholic telling an old Jewish man what's what about Israel, being like, no, Israel is conducting the most moral affair here, okay? He's like, are you serious? Like, I see dead children on my timeline. It's fucking unimaginably gross. And he's like, shut the fuck up, man. I know better than you. You're wrong. Jews used to know this. Why don't Jews know this? It's like, okay, Bill.
maybe not everybody in Israel, but that they've certainly offered that many times. Hamas has been very plain. They do not want a two-state solution. They want a solution where all the Jews die. Again, Jews used to be kind of on the page that this is a bad thing. Again, we can disagree.
No, I think the Jews are on the page that it's a bad thing.
Well, you're okay. Let's just say, and I'm not even a Jew.
Right.
But let's just say you're more equivocal about it than I am.
You are an atheist.
Yes.
That's right. Sure.
Yes. And I went and we made the movie Religulous. We spent 10 days in Israel.
Right.
All over.
Right.
I mean, and it was fascinating and eye-opening, and I'm so glad I did it.
Right.
And
I learned nothing from the experience other than the fact that I am Israel Chai.
Historic.
He's not a Jew, Chad. He's not. Apparently his mother is of Jewish descent, but he was raised Catholic. He's an atheist now, but like I didn't know this either, to be honest. Like I did not. I always assumed he was some fucking drunk Irish asshole. Or sorry, his father was Jewish.
I also find Israel to be one of the most delicious countries I've ever been to.
you're talking about Gal Gadot?
I'm talking about that great, delicious food.
Oh,
that is
delicious
Israeli.
food. The
delicious
Jews?
food. Yes.
Oh, I missed that.
You did.
I mean, I don't really remember the food. You know,
Bill's like, it was too Arab for my taste. Bill's like, actually, I hated it because I'm that Islamophobic. I'm so Islamophobic that I do not even consider Jewish food to be Jewish food in and of itself. I consider it to be Arab, which is automatically Muslim. I hate it.
you know what I remember so vividly, and it was like, such a.
Hey, thanks for watching.
Yeah, this motherfucker won't even eat Mediterranean food. He's like, Greek food? That seems a little too Arab for my taste.